4 things you're going to discover when you write and release your first book. Now these were 4 things that I discovered, and I'm sure there are other people who have already written the book will nod their heads in agreement, because these are the things that everybody notices. And if you have been holding yourself back for any of these reasons, I'm going to hopefully clear those away for you, release that fear, and get you to hit that publish button today. Now the first thing is that you're going to be worried that there isn't an audience for you. When I wrote my first couple of books, the last thing I expected was to have good book reviews, have somebody asking me when was book 2 coming out. You know, the fact that people actually opened their wallets or their credit cards and bought something that I made totally blew me away. And you're going to find that too, even though you might have this wonderful scenario in your head where thousands or maybe millions of people are reading your books, you know, they're bestsellers or all those different things. That is only a tiny portion of how you probably feel right now. The majority of you is probably thinking, nobody is going to read my book. I am not going to have an audience out there. Who's going to pay money for the stuff that I write? Nobody is going to leave good book reviews. All those things are probably at the back of your mind. And I'm here to tell you that they were the same when I hit the publish button on my book. I didn't think anybody would want to read anything I created, and never mind pay for it. But I did find it, and if you do look at the population of the world, how many billion it is, for you to think that you couldn't, you know, have a small share of that market, that there isn't somebody out there who likes your work, I'm here to tell you that you are delusional. Somebody out there is going to like your work. You might get money, maybe you didn't get much attention when you were in English class, or maybe you're not getting much attention at home with your writing. Nobody seems to, you know, think that it's fantastic, or maybe nobody's even paying any attention to your writing. I'm here to tell you that there are other people out there in the world who will read it and who will like it and who will buy from you again and again and again. And that's what I found. I found that even though I didn't think, like, here's me from Northern Ireland, you know, who in their right mind on the other side of the world would buy anything I create? So I'm here to tell you it did happen for me, and it will happen for you. So there is an audience out there for you. Just hit the publish button, and that is the only way you're going to attract them to you. Now another thing you'll find is that you probably think, well, if I fail, it's going to be the biggest thing in the world. And I'm here to tell you it's not. You know, if you release a book today and it's going to flop, you're not going to die. Your house isn't going to be taken off you. You know, you're not going to lose your kids. You're not going to lose your job. All those worst case scenarios. It's going to pass like a fart in a hurricane. Nobody is going to notice it. You know, in the worst case scenario, if you only sold 10 copies of your book and that was it, you've only embarrassed yourself in front of 10 people. 10 people who you'll probably never ever meet, you know, have read that book, maybe found that it was terrible and slated it. But you're not going to die. You know, nothing bad is going to happen to you. Life is going to continue along. World is just going to keep spinning, and nobody is going to pay attention to that. So that is all just built up in your head. That is, you're seeing the world through your eyes in that way. And I'm here to tell you it's daft. You know, again, going back to myself, I was the same way too. I thought all these worst case things were going to happen. When I hit the publish button, people were going to come knocking on my door, laughing, stories in the tabloids. Again, I'm exaggerating, but we build these scenarios up in our head to think like that. I'm here to tell you, you couldn't be far from the truth. Nobody is going to notice if you fail. So again, hit that publish button and you'll be glad that you did. Now, another thing you need to remember is that you don't need anyone's permission. For the longest time, I was a big fan of podcasts, and I would have loved to had my own podcast episodes or podcast out on the web, but for whatever reason, again, like most of us, we probably are thinking that we need permission from some person, some tribe, some person that has authority, that we need to contact them and say, is it possible that I could do a podcast? And we hold ourselves back because we think we need to appease this mysterious crowd. But I'm here to tell you that that is far from the truth. You know, when I created my podcast episode, all I needed was a microphone, just talking into it, and then just needed to put that up on the web. There was nobody's permission I needed to ask. There was nobody I had to run through for the okay. All I simply had to do was upload that content, and that was it. And again, back to the books too as well. For a lot of us, we hold ourselves back. We think we need permission from somebody. You might hold yourself back. Maybe you might be giving your book away in groups, getting people to read through it and asking what they thought. What do you think? Should I release this book? And if you get a couple of no's, well, then you hold back because that, you know, those people have said it's terrible or whatever. It shouldn't be released. And sometimes you people do that for the longest time. They go from group to group to group, looking for permission from someone before they actually hit the publish button. I'm here to tell you that you don't need any permission from anyone. Get the book, hit publish today and get it released, because there is an audience out there waiting for that book. You don't need permission from anyone. I didn't need permission from anyone to create this video today. I simply just held up my phone, spoke into it, stuck it on YouTube, or created the podcast episode from it, and that was it. I didn't need permission from anyone. And if you are holding yourself back because of that, I'm here to tell you I give you permission today. Go ahead and release that book. And the final thing is, you're never going to know it all. I remember when I started off, if you do much writing at all, you might have come upon the software Scrivener. And it's a wonderful piece of software you can use for your fiction writing or non-fiction writing, but it's a great piece of software. Now, anyone who has ever opened it will probably tell you that it looks like you are at the dashboard or the control panel of maybe the Star Trek, the spaceship in Star Trek or something like that. There just looks to be so many buttons on it, there's so many options, and for a lot of people they will look at a piece of software like that and they will say to themselves, I need to know this inside out. I need to know everything in those drop down menus. I need to know what this does, what that does, all those different things. When in fact, again, I was stupidly like that too. I was thinking that I needed to know everything about that piece of software. In fact, I think I only needed to know about 4 or 5 options on it, and that was it. The rest of the stuff I didn't need. So if you are holding yourself back because you think that you need to know more about a piece of software, or you need to know everything about getting your book on the Amazon Kindle store, or you need to know everything about Facebook ads or Amazon ads or all those different things, I'm here to tell you that you don't. If you spent the next year concentrating on Amazon ads and knew those things inside out, next year something else is going to change. They're going to update something, they're going to drop something. Maybe the dashboard and the control panel is going to change, but something is going to change. Things are constantly changing, they're constantly updating, and that knowledge that you have today, even though it might be all the knowledge you could learn on that, is going to not be 100%. It's not going to be 100%, it's not going to cover everything, because things change. So rather than you spending all your time trying to learn every little function of a piece of software or every kind of thing about a website or buying ads or whatever it is, I'm here to tell you, just start. Get a working knowledge of how to do the basics, how to write with a piece of software, how to get your first ad up, and then your working knowledge will grow over time. You'll find from experience then, I need to do this thing with my book, I need to change the layout, and then go and learn how to do that. Or you might find if you are doing Facebook ads, maybe they're not selling too well, no, they're not performing well, go and watch a YouTube video on how to get your Facebook ad to perform better. But learn as you keep going. Walk and learn along the way. Because as I said, things do change. What is relevant today may change. Some platform, Amazon could close down tomorrow, and then what would you do if you knew everything about it before you even started? You'd be ready to go and the platform would be gone. You never know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months. Some other publishing platform could come along, some other piece of software could come along. Facebook could change some of the guidelines or some of the rules that they have for the Facebook ads, and you're never going to know it all. Things are constantly evolving, changing, especially online. Things are always updating. There's always a second version of a piece of software, a third version, or there's things that you used to get away with before that the guidelines have changed and you're not allowed to do that anymore. So don't hold yourself back thinking that you need to know it all. You don't. All you need to do is just enough to get the book up, hit the publish button, see how it goes, and then if it doesn't do too well, then go back, have a look at what went wrong, have a look at learning how to get better at those pieces, and again, hit publish again, and over time, again and again and again, just work on the bits that you're weak at, the bits that you need to learn about right now, and keep walking forwards, because things are going to change and you're never going to know it all. Now, if you are somebody who has already published a book, you might have been nodding along there saying, well, yeah, he's writing some of those parts, I did notice that. But in my own case, again, some of those things are probably things you're probably saying, well, why would anybody believe those things? But I'm here to tell you that I did, and if I did, I know other people are holding themselves back because of that. So whatever's holding you back at the moment, I hope maybe this video has helped, or this podcast episode has helped. I hope I've cleared some of those things up for you. And if I have, you can always send me an email at barryjmcdonald if you'd like me maybe to cover something in an upcoming video. You can reach out to me by email, or if you'd like to know more where these videos and podcast episodes are, if you do a search for Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, you'll find my content all over the web. And if you go to the Writecom site right now, we have a great free report called Words to Wealth, and in it I'm going to show you 10 different ways you can make money from home with your keyboard. So if you'd like to try that out, and you'd like to put any of those techniques to the test, you're very, very welcome to head on over there. So again, you'll find that over at writecom.com. So as always, thanks for sharing your time with me again today. Take care, have a great day, bye bye.